Welcome to the PhoneArena.com video review for the iPhone 3G. The 3G is of course the successor to the original iPhone, one of the most popular phones ever. There's not a whole lot different with the design of this phone. Most notably, you'll notice the back casing is now colored as opposed to the previous metal. We have a black version, but it also comes in white if you get the 16 gig. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same. You have the same screen size and screen technology. You have the little home button here down at the end. Still have the chrome trim around. One difference is the buttons. Though they're in the same place and they do the same thing, because of the dark background, we now have silver metal buttons. So we have the toggle switch here for the sound, so it turns it to vibrate and off. And we also have the volume rocker. Up top, you simply have the lock button. We have a 3.5mm headphone jack over here. It should be noted that this is not recessed like it was in the original one, so pretty much any headphone should be working with this now. Not sure if you can really tell with the black on black, but we do have the little SIM card slot here. There is a small hole for the eject, and it actually comes with a tool now instead of using paperclip. Down at the bottom we have the dock connector, and as you can see on either side there is stereo speakers. These, along with the earpiece, is covered in mesh as opposed to the old style where it was kind of perforated plastic. But other than that, the design's pretty much the same. It is 0.5 millimeter thicker than the original. However, the edges are more rounded, so it has a little bit better in-hand feel. The plastic background does not make it feel as cheap as we initially thought it would. It's definitely a different feel, but it's not slippery at all. As you can see, I'm kind of pushing here and it's really not moving. So we don't have any issues with it. As far as the interface goes, there's not a whole lot new to report here. Still the same slide to unlock screen that we have. You notice we do have a bunch of apps on here. That's because of the App Store. The App Store is the big change with the new iPhone, in addition to, of course, 3G and GPS. But this will open the phone up to a lot of third-party applications. There's already several hundred available, and that list is only going to grow. So you can see here it's a very iTunes-like interface. You have the different applications. We've got new and what's hot here in the featured area. We have the top 25, where we got the top 25 free, the top 25 paid applications. They're broken down by categories, so we can go and see, let's say, what is in utilities. And of course you could also search for them, so if you know the name of the application you're looking for. And then here's a little update tab. Right now everything we have is up to date. Beyond that, there isn't a whole lot to show as far as the interface goes. It's still generally as smooth as ever. Everything is of course running fine now. We do have some problems with it every now and again though. A little bit of lag issues. Obviously, as we get this on video, of course, everything is going to run absolutely perfectly like it should be and like we expect it to be and like we saw with the original iPhone. Here we're in the pictures menu. Of course, if we rotate the picture, the screen will rotate. And again, we can zoom, pinch, all that fun finger-friendly stuff that we're used to from the first time around. There are a lot of really neat apps that we've found so far. One of the ones we really like is a Sports Tap application here. As you can see, we're kind of pressing the screen a couple times here. It's not as responsive as it used to be. It'll work most of the time, and then every once in a while, like right there, it'll mess up. So here we're in this application. We're going to go to the home. What this is just an example of many of the free applications that are there. This has pretty much any sport that you'd be interested in following, from baseball and football to Formula One, IndyCar, Arena Football League, Major League Soccer, English Premier League. Just one of the examples of some of the really cool stuff that the developers are doing here. But the overall interface remains the same. You can see we've downloaded a number of things and our screen's getting cluttered. One of the things we wish the iPhone did, given that the App Store is going to be creating many more icons on your home screen, is have a way to sort them into folders. So we can create a sports folder and put our Sports Tap and put our MLB.com and put our baseball application and our live sports application all in one sports folder so that it's not taking up 6 or 7 or 8 spots on our main screen. But hopefully, again, that's something that'll come in new software. Whether it will or not, we'll have to see, but that's the beauty of the platforms, that it can always be updated. Of course, the iPhone is first and foremost a multimedia phone. It's, as they say, the best iPod out there, and nothing's really changed. We still love it. It's still fantastic. We have the same old iPod interface, nice large cover art. If we rotate it, we'll get it into the cover flow mode, but works great. Let's get it back into there, and we'll take a look at a video here. Again, it rotates. Large full screen videos, they look great. Tap it to get the screen controls up. Pause, play, fast forward, rewind. Very, very simple. Everything works as you'd expect. Again, nothing's changed from the original, but can't really fault it for that because it had it pretty much perfect. Another thing that we really liked is mobile Safari, and it's just as great as ever. As you can see, we've got our iPhone 3G hands-on loaded. One of the reasons is because, as you see, there's a YouTube video in this one. If we actually click on it, it'll load up the YouTube player, and we can watch that. We're not going to, since we're creating our own. But again, the iPhone 3G is just as good at multimedia and web browsing as the original iPhone. But nothing new to speak of. All in all, we're a little bit disappointed with the iPhone 3G. We had some high expectations for it, given how the original iPhone revolutionized the mobile world. There really isn't much changed with the 3G. Obviously, there's 3G data, and there's the GPS and the new software, but the new software is available on the old phone as well. And quite frankly, the new software is pretty buggy. We're having issues. We're reading lots of report of issues. And it's not up to Apple's normal high-quality software, easy to use, it just works standards. So that's something that can always be fixed in future firmware upgrades. We're probably expecting to see something very soon from Apple to address a lot of these issues, but for now, we don't really recommend an upgrade. If you're a new user, go out and buy it. It's great. If you don't have one and you're planning on getting one, but for existing iPhone owners, unless you absolutely need 3G and or GPS, stick with your old one and just upgrade the software.